Pounders, we did it. With a little bit of help from the amazing fantasy football community, I will give them that. Just unbelievable. We hit 1K just over 1 year into it. Today we're going to be doing another Battle Royale stream and just taking a look real quick at what won last week. And we were all over it. We were in 8th place for over half the day, and then we were kind of sitting around 35th until CMC went absolutely nuclear. And we were on the Justin Fields Komet stack. That wasn't the problem. It was I just didn't have it paired with CMC. And 4 touchdowns for Christian McCaffrey. Just absolutely putting the pain down in the fantasy football community for running backs. A.J. Brown putting up 34. I want to say A.J. Brown, who else would? Nico Collins would have been optimal here. And our guy that we were saying in the draft, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry got there in the end zone once on the ground, and he threw a touchdown, which is just hysterical. Weird way to get there, but there's weirder ways. Guys, thank you. Thank you for coming out tonight as well. If you haven't already, go down, smash the like. We don't stop at 1K. It is a really cool accomplishment, and I got to thank all you guys. And let me pull this up because I didn't even intend for this to really blow up. This is my this is my biggest viewed tweet, and it's minutes of watch time. Just funny. And I appreciate everyone just showing love. So many people reposted it, and just like shout out to James, Tom, all these great fantasy football big brains in the industry, just really showing love. Davis, shout out to Davis too. Steph, have to give all these people flowers. Drewski, he's like a day one, my man. Drewski's a day one. Ben with the wrench, day one. Ben found me by I think just a random live stream. But the way I really kicked off was searching people's underdog names on Twitter. Searching their usernames on Twitter and following them. And just, saying nice draft or whatever it was. Just really funny way to catch some traction early. But you do what you gotta do. We're grinders in every sense of the word. But really, big shout out to Crash Rich. He crushed it this week. He crushed it. He took down, I believe, 2 tournaments. Just insane. Really nice looking lineup. What's the most surprising about this is Justin Fields gets there on a double stack. Like, mind blown. And it's just, we're going to have a new rule, and it's start everyone against Denver. We had a feeling going in that Komet and Justin Fields, I was heavy on him the first 3 weeks. Why not week 4? Just didn't have the right pieces. So really cool there for Crash Rich. Big congrats. And now this slate this week, and this is pretty exciting. We have more information on just different running backs, wide receivers, tight end usage. Like Goddard, that breakout year, that's not happening. The targets are down, and the running back targets are up in Philly, which is interesting too. Giants versus the Dolphins, 11-point favorites now. It was 10.5 for Miami on a 49-point over-under. I'm liking this game from the Dolphins standpoint. I don't know if you're going to bring it back with anyone. And if you're going to bring it back with someone, it would likely be, and it's gross, but the slate's pretty gross at tight end this week anyways. Is it Waller? Man, you guys stop. When do we stop clicking this guy? Now, there was a down week for Daniel Jones this week. If Saquon's back, the offense will look better. Just a slight positive. And if people aren't drafting him, that is another reason to draft him. In a game with a 49-point total, which is high, really he only needs to get there in the end zone once. Shoutouts to Schultz. I can't do the Smith over Pitts. I'd just rather leave both of them. I know that they're splitting time. It's pretty gross. but going all the way down as low as Hurst. But Hurst, again, he's splitting time as well. Juwan Johnson was a sneaky play last week. Gets hurt in the first drive. Gets hurt in the first drive. There goes my dog bowl team. Dennis, welcome to the live stream. Nick, what's going on? Luis, what's happening? Fancy question got offered. Jacobs and ETN for Laporta, Mixon, and Pierce. Have Goddard on bench. 8-man league. So 8-man league, you just want the best available players, not necessarily trading for more. Jacobs and ETN for Laporta, Mixon, and Pierce. You have Goddard. I would rather Jacobs and ETN. I'd rather Jacobs and ETN. Wando's a bring back, pretty yucky, but the Giants, yeah, and he was probably a lone bright spot for the Giants this past week. He had 6 targets, 5 catches, 40 yards, gave him 1 rushing attempt. They fell apart. So it's really tough to tell. So I'm going to be keeping an eye. If people are drafting Waller, he could be an okay bring back. I had Saquon earlier today as a last pick. There's no risk on last picking Saquon Barkley. There really isn't. If he doesn't play, you can just trade. You can just pick swap at the end there. We'll be on a pitch count. I don't really think so. If they're gonna bring him back, and they're playing Miami, I think it's a pretty good spot. If he plays, he's definitely startable. Obviously in redraft, so why not here in Battle Royale? They're gonna need him to win that game anyways. First 6, is there anyone I want to be really heavy on, like super heavy? I don't really think so. Like it probably does go. This is split. Like you can put Bijan in front again, defense, and then Kelsey. But again, it feels so good just betting against Kelsey and just elite tight ends. But this week there is drop off. Like after these 4 tight ends, you are not getting that floor, that high floor. You could argue the next one would be Tyler Higbee, who's still pulling a good amount of targets. If Cooper Kupp comes back, it will eat into that. Zach Ertz with the second most targets at the tight end position through 4 weeks. Weird. So strange. So Zach Ertz is crazy, but it's in play. It's in play. Schultz got in the end zone last week. He could have gotten in the end zone against Jacksonville too. So he's a red zone target, but again, he's sitting around 3 to 4 targets on average a game. He pops off 7 in week 2. So tight ends, it definitely falls off. Scroll down options. Conklin against Denver is interesting. And Chiggy is in play only if Treylon Burks sits out again. But that offense is tough, man. It's tough. Where does Henry go? Henry goes around 14, so I'm going to be overweight on Henry again this week. When we think about where Henry wins and when he blows up, it's in these close matchups. And what is this point total at? Yeah, it's over under 42, so on the lower end. But Titans giving up 1. So in these close games, Henry's heavily involved. It's really when they're playing from behind that he has his worst fantasy days. So I do like Henry again this week. Conklin 35-point game. That might be the hottest take I've seen all year. Jerry, what's going on, man? Welcome to the live stream. ER7, I'm benching Waller in redraft, so it's safe to say he'll get 25 plus. So true. Is it like, it's not crazy to say you're benching Waller, though. It's really not. Congrats on 1K. And hello, I'm not even going to try to say that. I'm not even going to try. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you. I benched Montgomery, and then he scored more points than the gross. Okay. Oh, come on. What's going on? What's going on there? Yeah, Montgomery, it was tough to know what his usage was going to be coming back from the injury, and it was 30-something touches. It is what it is. You're at the will of the coaches, and especially that's probably worse for Gibbs than anybody. Saints Pats, this one's pretty gross. Honestly, Where does Kamara go? Because that's basically the only piece that I think I would even touch in this game. He's going around 29. Kamara's in play just with the amount of targets he got. 13 catches on 14 targets. Yes, they're drop-offs. Yes, they didn't go for very far. But if we expect Carr to have a better day, and with Patriots suffering injuries to Judon and another person in the secondary going down, just the defense isn't going to be the same. The defense is not going to be the same. You could see New Orleans run away with this one. Was Carr hurt? Like, what happened in that game where he just looked like dog? Complete dog. And I guess he's just been dog shit all year. And I saw something that, like, Olave's wide receiver, like 30 or something, but that shouldn't be a huge surprise. Nico balled out big time. He's balling out for my Best Ball Mania shares. 16% Nico for the win. My God. Help those AJ Dillon shares a little bit, please. Games I want to target, though, it's going to be this Philly Rams game. It's going to be this Detroit Carolina, obviously on the Detroit side of things. Nico's on this slate, too, against Atlanta, but Atlanta's going to be a little tougher. Just like Pittsburgh, their time of possession was so bad, right? So when the time of possession's low, Houston has the ball for, man, I'd be curious to see what percent they had. But Atlanta going a little more run heavy. You could see this game not be super high scoring. Let's see what the total is on this one. You can definitely run it back with Nico. 41. So I'm not surprised. Look at this Baltimore Steelers game. 38. Over under 38. So gross. So Philly Rams, 50 points. Chiefs Vikings, 53. Those are going to be the two main ones where you probably want a piece of that game. Whether it's just a mini stack, whether it's a one-off. If you don't have at least one piece of one of these two games, I'm probably not going to feel too great about my lineup. And from the Chiefs side of things, it's like Kelsey, Mahomes, or no one. Pacheco. We'll add Pacheco in there big time. Pacheco, Kelsey, Mahomes. Receivers, just leave them on the bench where they belong. Leave them on undrafted. It's really gross there. And for season long, if you're looking for the probably highest upside in that team, it's going to be Rashee Rice. He could add 2 touchdowns, not week 4, but week 3, fell on the 1-yard line. Let's jump into a room and let's sort of see what this landscape is looking like for Battle Royale week 5. Waiting on 2. Jump on in. AC joint. Yeah, he had to be bothered by the shoulder. Had to be, but still. It's still pretty bad. Jameis, we might be getting close to Jameis. Time. Got to keep an eye on some of these practices this week on Kupp, on Barkley. He practiced limited 3 times last week. Cooper Kupp, I read something that he's at like 80% right now. Mixed signals about Kupp, though, I will say. There are mixed signals about Kupp. We got to keep an eye on JT, although against Tennessee, is this the game to bring JT out? I'm probably just going to be fading JT this week in Battle Royales. And for scroll downs on receiver, people kind of knocking it this week, but there are some options. Like JMO, if you're going to do it, week 1's the week. It's not like he was hurt, too. He's not coming back from injury. Coming back from a suspension. So that could be a fun piece. I think Goff's in play, too, for QBs. All right, we're just going to go A.J. Brown in this 50-point total against the Rams. And Puka. I last picked Puka in a draft in Battle Royale so far. So he's been falling. And it has to do with Cooper Kupp, obviously. Okay. How do we not go Jamar Chase, Antonio? I almost said Antonio Brown, AJ Brown. I'm not even going to think twice about it. Arizona, you can do a bring back with the rookie, Michael Wilson. He gets in the end zone twice. Dobbs is being serviceable for these receivers. He's being serviceable, so they're throwing the ball more than expected. And last week against San Fran, like, you're really not going to be able to run the ball too well. So I do think Connor is back in play this week against Cincy. Those attempts will go up. You want to see this to go up, though. Receptions. So he's definitely been touchdown dependent so far. He's definitely been touchdown dependent. Ab says, Carr was just very injured and shouldn't have been in. Yeah, I agree. Does Stevenson stock go back up with, oh my God. No. If the Pats are out of games, they're just going to abandon the run. And they need to establish the run in order to even be in a game to begin with. And now you have Zeke in the mix. And what'd Zeke do? 6 carries for like 16 yards. 6 carries for 16 yards. I love this because the narrative going into the week was the Pats are going to feature Zeke. Yeah, that was a lie. That was a lie. Are we back in on the Waddle train? Waddle killed me last week. He killed 2 of my Komet Justin Fields lineups. And I think I'm ready to fall on the sword again. He already has... Let's go Waddle here. I don't think he's going to go to Detroit Lions without Goff. That doesn't make a ton of sense. Although, with Mahomes, he could obviously spike higher than Goff. With Goff going off to Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra. I'm going to have a lot of Swift this week, but... And with A.J. Brown, I'm fine with that too. I'm fine with having Swift and A.J. Brown. He could have got there last week with 1 more touchdown, but they sort of slowed down. QBs, like A-Rich is in play this week. So we have options. We can go Burrow's probably like, he looks like a bottom 3 QB right now, to be honest. We're going to go Sam Laporta here. Again, I think there's just a drop-off with that floor at tight end this week. And Sam Laporta also has a high ceiling. So, have we seen it yet? I don't think we've seen his ceiling necessarily. But when you're building 40 to 50 of these, and that's all I'm doing each week is 40 to 50, I'm going to have a good amount with those top 4 tight ends. Kelsey, Hawk, Andrews, and Sam Laporta, instead of just guessing on these guys. And I'm going to have a little bit of Conklin. I'm probably going to have a little bit of Zach Ertz too as a bring back, maybe in like a mini stack with Jamar Chase. No catches for JMO. Highly possible. Zone coach says he doesn't have elite hands. Yeah, well, you gotta knock them down before you build them up, all right? You gotta knock them down before you build them up. Did Tua go too? Oh, God. All right, well, we didn't want to see all 3 of those QBs go. Not the best. We do have a mini stack here with James Conner, so this is tempting. I also like Pacheco against Minnesota. We're going to go James Conner, and we're probably going to go with the undrafted Joe Burrow with Chase. It's been so bad. The O-line is just Swiss cheese. It's Swiss cheese. This could be a Goff pick too. Goff Laporta. against Carolina. Man. I think we just go Chase. Chase with Burrow. It's gross. I hate it. Coop, are the pound. He went Bijan, Devon, A. Chan. Almost got me. Mark Andrews, Lamar, Cooper Kupp, and Michael Wilson. It's a fun one. Travis Kelce, Jalen Hurts, Smith. Seen a lot of snipes happening so far on Mahomes Kelce stacks that have just been like one away. Heartbreaking. Is Joe Burrow going to be able to put it together one of these weeks? That's going to be the question. And this week against... You got the weather at 69 degrees and sunny. Over under 43.5. And they're 2.5 point favorites against Arizona. Imagine knowing that before the season started, that since he was going to be only 2.5 point favorites against Arizona. Crazy. What we know now versus what we knew then. So much has changed. Let's go. Another pounder in here in the one spot. Mondre's been one of your biggest fades this year. Had 2% before Zeke, finished with 4%. So that little bit of FOMO right before draft season ends. You're like, let me just get a couple more shares of this guy that I've been fading all year. I do that all the time for some reason. I'll be so right on a player, and then all of a sudden, like the last week, I'll decide to draft them in like a high stakes league. I'm like, why did I just do that? Some of it has to do with closing line value and getting better prices on players and stuff, but you have a touch of Higbee, but you're right. Got elite speed, but not elite hands. We'll see. There's time for those hands to grow. Don't recognize these names. Let me know if you guys got in here with us, if you snuck in. If you haven't already, go down, smash the like. We hit 1K subs due to the fantasy football community. I appreciate all you guys coming out, but we're not stopping there. We're not going to stop until first off, we need to do more dog bowls, and I need to stream the dog bowls. And that's probably going to happen on Saturday nights. From now on, that might just be dog bowl night. Grab one of these too. I'm cool with either one. If I had a preference, I'd probably put Bijan in front of Kelce. Main reason too, like, Kelce shouldn't go at 3 if Hawkinson goes at 16. That's like my biggest fight. You can't. He's not proving it this year that he's worth that separation. He's like tight end 4 or 5 right now. Hawkinson's tight end 1 on the year. That is what is... Yeah, and I have to do this. That's just a Badge Bros GM. Shout out to John. We got to do that. We have to do that. I still hope that we get Hawk on this team. And there's going to be so many Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews teams that, like, is it necessarily wrong? Probably no. Like, who else would you want as a pass catcher for Lamar? Maybe Zay Flowers. And we'll have to see if Odell's practicing this week. We'll have to see if Bateman's practicing this week. Keep an eye on both of those players. But it's not feeling like a 2 running back winning slate. It's really not. I think you're going to see another 3 wide receiver slate win this week. Like, there's such big separation. Bijan, and then the next running back off the board is Devon Achane, which, yeah, he's averaging a touchdown like every 6 carries or something. All right. I didn't think we were also going to get Montgomery because this shouldn't be possible, but it is possible. So we're doing it. This is a solo ship type lineup. And basically, I want one of these three. We can't go running back. This is a fun one. Man, I was hoping last week it's gonna be a Devonta, and it could. It definitely could. Any week can be. Uh-oh. Did we just get 3 for Ford? I don't love going Laporta and Montgomery. I have to think about that. I'd probably just go A-Rich. Fuck. That would have been sick to bring in Hawk here. That would have been so sick. This team needs a QB. There's one team that needs a QB. There's 2 teams that need a tight end. There's just such a fall off at QB. Like, there's no reason A-Rich shouldn't be going sooner. There's no reason. Now, Tennessee's known for having a good run defense, but I'm not sure that's going to matter with Anthony Richardson. We'll see who comes back to us here. We can't go Goddard. He's off the table with already having A.J. Brown. It's just a bad idea to double stack Jalen Hurts receivers anyways, or pass catchers even. Who should you target on the Bears-Commanders game? I mean, I would rather target Commanders than Bears. Commanders have a much better defense than Denver, so really Chicago has to prove it 2 weeks in a row. Like, they have to prove it that they can do it again. DJ Moore has to prove it. Yeah, Brian Robinson's probably going to be my go-to. Terry McLaurin. Love both of those plays. We already have a QB. We need one receiver and one tight end. Is there any negative to go on Cooper Kupp? It just doesn't seem like it because you can just pivot. Jordan Addison. I have a Jordan Addison share, and I think that's super sharp. 0 points last week, so not a lot of people would be drafting him. He's in a much better situation against KC. They should be throwing the ball. I don't like the Thielen click. Let's bring in Marquise Brown, who's actually been pulling a good amount of targets. Nick, welcome to the live stream, my man. Kamara off the board. This was a fun one, but man, if I got Hawk right there, it probably would have been another Jared Goff lineup. Could have went JMO there too. Undrafted. Late tight ends. We can just dig here, I think. A little mini stack. Bijan and Schultz. Can't go Goddard. Let's go Higbee. Higbee with Brown, little mini stack. Naked A-Rich. I think it's most likely the best way to go. Pittman. And Pittman had a down day. Like, I think you can still bring in Pittman. But yeah, that naked A-Rich was the way to go last week. All right, let's get into another one. We have time for more. Give us a one spot. Give me some JJ in my portfolio. Ask. All you have to do is ask. Just ask the computer. And your wish will be granted. I should have asked to win instead, but we'll have to check how many one mores we have. One more time. Right, I like the Philly double stack this week. Uh, I don't mind it if you don't have Hurts to bring in like AJ Brown or Devonta Smith and then go with the Swift too. But I do not like double stacking Jalen Hurts because he doesn't throw the ball for enough yards for two of them to get there. And if two of them are going to get there, it would be a Goddard lineup. Cut bring back with AJ Brown. Yeah, I agree. There's really no Bills Dolphins must target game. Yeah, Chief Vikings. I would like a piece of that game. I would like a piece of the Philly Rams game, which is a 50-point total. But I don't really think you have to force that one as much. Like I would, if I'm going to get a piece of that game, I'd want it to be Swift, right? Like if we have the first pick with JJ and we can't get AJ Brown, if I'm going to get a piece of that game, I want it to be Swift. And the reason being is you're now leveraging Jalen Hurts, right? See how this looks on the way back around. So we get pick 12. So there actually will be a decent amount of Justin Jefferson, Jalen Hurts teams. So that's all the more where maybe you don't click JJ Jalen Hurts and you go JJ and you eventually bring in Swift. And that's just a leverage play. Bijan goes at 5. Devon Achan is breaking fantasy football right now. He's breaking fantasy football. 6 touchdowns in 2 games. Off limited touches. Now, last Sunday's game was a little sketchy. Like his first 2 carries both went for touchdowns in the red zone. We'll see what this team looks like in a little bit too, if they decide to get Jeff Wilson Jr. involved or not. This is interesting. Could a double stack Kirk Cousins be the way this week? Could it be the way? Let's just do something weird here. Let's lock in both of these running backs. Don't think a lot of JJ teams will do that. So I don't want to bring in Hawkinson on a Justin Jefferson team. And it's for the same exact reason. Like, you're betting against JJ. When you bring in another pass catcher to catch touchdowns and pull targets, like, yes, sure, Hawkinson's going to do that anyways. I guess this is the game where it could work. A JJ Hawkinson stack against KC. But Mahomes hasn't been putting up a ton of points. So, like, this Jacksonville game completely busted. They killed Chicago. I think Chicago killed themselves, to be honest. I guess you could say the same thing about Kirk Cousins last week. He ended up with, I don't even think he got 20 passing attempts. Just such a strange game. And a turnover for 6 for Carolina really changed how Minnesota played it too. Hawk and JJ could both get there. Yeah. Before this past Sunday's game, Kirk Cousins was throwing the ball 46 times on average per game. 46 attempts. He goes down to like 19. This past week was just 19. We expect that to go up against Casey. We expect that to go up. Hawkinson going off the board at 20 here. What a gift. What a gift. We can't go running back. The total on this game's 38 points. But I think there's a good chance that Baltimore ends up dominating Pittsburgh. We're going to go A-Rich here as the tiebreaker with the mini with Derrick Henry. Do we bring in Michael Pittman Jr.? Will be the question. Probably want Higbee as a bring back in this game. I would say George Pickens is in play, but I don't believe Pickett's playing. He will practice. Okay, he practiced today, so he most likely will play. Let's bring in Pittman here. Bounce back game for Pittman. I think there'll be an opportunity for the mini double stack to play later in the year with less tight end competition on the week. Possible. I've just been cracking out on Pittman and Henry together, but it feels like it'll be very popular pairing. Yeah, it's definitely. I'm surprised Pittman's this high up in the player pool. And honestly, I'm going to be clicking Chris Olave more this week with just how decimated New England's defense is. Like, if you're telling me Chris Olave or Adam Thielen, I'd probably rather go Zay Flowers. Hottest take this past week was to sit Zay Flowers against Cleveland. D. Ended up getting lucky there. T. Higgs. We'll see if he ends up playing. Wandell Robinson, J-Mo. Let's scroll. Sky Moore, 0 targets, right? 2 targets, 0 catches. Not playing Mims against the Jets defense. Michael Thomas isn't a bad scroll down, to be honest. Michael Thomas is not a bad scroll down. Shaheed. KJ Osborne. Let me see if this updated yet. I want to see how many snaps Addison played in. Not that it matters because the team didn't throw the ball. Okay. Addison was out there for 83%. KJ Osborne. So it's kind of weird that he's that low. Like, I'd rather probably KJ Osborne over Tyler Boyd. There's definitely some scroll downs, though. There's definitely some scroll downs this week. I believe we're going Tyler Higbee again here. Yeah. Let's bring in Higbee here. We'll see. I think if Kupp does play, he will end up just being eased in. Like, maybe you get 30%, 35% of snaps. So I don't think, I guess I don't think we should be drafting much Kupp, if that's my stance. Which would then put Puka back in play for this week. Okay, we get the 6 spot. We forgot to ask. Forgot to ask for the 1 spot again. Forgot to ask. Ooh, Sky Moore. Skyler. Nelson Aguilar. Oh my God. How deep? How deep is Nelson? Let's see. Now, Lamar threw the ball like, what, 19 times or something? It was 20 times. So Nelson Aguilar, even if he has a high snap count, and he does, 74%, you can't. You can't. And this total on this game so low. It's so low. Just rather leave it alone. 41 points over under. Yeah, I mean, you could do it. That can't be plus EV. That can't be. I keep being wrong on a couple pieces each week. I hear you, Adam. I hear you. I've had the pieces, just not together. And that's the game. That's the name of the game, Battle Royale. You do need to sun run in all the right places. I don't mind. I don't mind these 5 running backs, like to have some 2 running back lineups like we've been building. Because actually, wide receiver falls off fast too. This will be interesting to break down. Brian's in here with us. We got Bijan at 6. What a gift. We're just going to go Bijan Chase. Not going to overthink it. Not going to overthink it. Especially if T. Higgins either A, doesn't play, or B, is injured and isn't playing to his full capabilities. You're going to get 8+ targets for Jamar Chase. Seems like a good spot. Seems like a good spot against Arizona. So Chase Bijan probably a little less owned, but it won't be crazy because I think Chase is, people are sort of out on him right now. Amon-Ra is fun, but shit, like, he's just a steady floor guy. Like, when it comes down to it, 15, 14, 11, he would need to get in the end zone twice for his role. Whiteout, thanks for coming out, man. Appreciate you, dude. Bijan versus Houston feels so good. It feels like such a big drop-off at the running back position after Bijan. I do like Montgomery this week, too. I like Montgomery, I think, every week from here on out. High-powered offense in usually high-scoring games, and he's got the goal line role. I don't think Gibbs, they're not just going to randomly give it to Gibbs. So, yeah. Josh says Monty versus Carolina is good. Yeah, 100%. That's the way I see it. That is the way I see it too. Can go Nico here for a little mini stack. This is what we're looking at. He goes Andrews one before us. Okay. I do like leveraging Jalen Hurts, especially in a high-scoring game. If we go Waddle, it just opens us up to another QB possibility. Just burned so hard last week by Waddle. You have to just forget about it. You have to forget about it. We're back on. We're back on the train. Okay, so we need a QB and a tight end. Took a small risk, hoping for one of these 3 to fall back to us. Definitely took a small risk there. But for upside on remaining wide receivers, like it goes Waddle, Nico Collins, and then like pick your guy. Pick your jag. Just a guy. Nico Collins off the board. All these teams need QBs, so this kind of worries me. I love the Pacheco. I do like the Pacheco click too. Leveraging Patty Mahomes, leveraging Kelsey. He's got it in a, well, not even a mini stack. This is a super stack going on. Has to go Kirk Cousins with this. Has to go Kirk Cousins. See if we get Lamar. It's going to depend on this guy here. Honeymoon money. What is that? What does it mean? Mixon's going late. Yeah, he goes Lamar. That's cool. So I'm glad we at least went Jalen Waddle. It opens us up for an option at QB that's correlated. Otherwise, if we go Nico Collins, we probably, it's between Stroud or Burrow. Stroud's been so consistent. Insane. He's definitely in play. We're going Captain Kirk here. And maybe our best scroll down impression. How deep can we go? What happened to Bellinger? Night comes to an end early. I didn't see that. We'll bring in Tua, and we do have Schultz in a little mini stack with Bijan. I think we can do that. He's also been one of the favorite targets in the red zone. He's been pulling some red zone targets. Hunter Henry's also nice, but we'll save it. We'll save it for another draft where it's correlated. After, like I said, after Laporte is off the board, I'm basically just going to be finding mini stacks or game stacks because any of these guys can be optimal. The tight end position's just after tight end 5, the next 7, 8, 10, 14 spots are just all the same player, basically. You just want to make sure that they at least have that red zone rule, that they're out there for the majority of snaps, which is freaking important to me, at least. Maybe not to some people. Like, clear example, like Seattle, where they're playing 3 tight ends. Don't want anything to do with it. Just lowers the upside. Ooh, I didn't see this going in. 49% for Schultz after 3 weeks of steadily going down. Brevin Jordan, I did see him get a... This will be something to monitor here, Schultz. If this goes down or stays the same week 5, like Schultz is out in my book. So that's interesting. I know New England, Henry's just, he's got the majority, like heavy majority, 80%. They did a lot of 2 tight end sets. So Henry's at least stable. Tyler Higbee. I just want these players that are going to be on the field. So Schultz, I'm probably not going to be mixing in. Nick brings in Jonnu Smith. Oh, God. Can it not be a thing, though? Can we just, like... I don't want it to be a thing, and I'm not even a Kyle Pitts truther, but he's out there for a good amount of snaps, like 55% to 64% for Kyle Pitts. Like, he's out there a lot, and he's pulling just as many targets as Pitts, if not more. Like, let me pull up... Let's pull up scoring. I didn't tell the computer to do the right thing. Let's find it. Fantasy rankings. I believe it's under stats. Fantasy stats. Nope. You have to pay for that one. Is it rankings? Weekly finishes. Hunter Henry, tight end 1, tight end 2. Johnny Smith, tight end 3. Parham, 2 touchdown game, gets him up there. Hate to say it, but might have to fall on the sword on Waller again this week. Even though I just think he's injured. Like, I think he probably was a little more healthy during training camp and he re-injured himself. See what a touchdown does, though? A touchdown instantly puts you in the top 10 at tight end. Pharaoh Brown. Like, a touchdown puts you in the top 10. Harrison Bryant, Blake Bell. So it's really comes down to who's going to score a touchdown that week, really. Higbee's been steady with targets and receptions, but you haven't seen a spike week yet. Cole Kmet, huge day. Sam Laporta has shown steady production along with, again, high ceiling. Finishes tight end 1. So that's why I do think there is a drop off after Sam Laporta. Mark Andrews having 2 top 3 tight end days. So I definitely I have to make a point to get more elite tight ends. Top 4 in these draft rooms. Because after Sam Laporta, you're just rolling dice here. You're rolling dice. That's crazy. I saw your lineup, Bri. And if you showed me that lineup before the season started, you're going to score like 18 points total between 6 players. Had so many weekly winners teams last week by not cashing, having tight end points. They were all 4 tight end teams. It's funny because those late tight ends, a lot of them busted. Fant, McBride, the ones that hit, Ferguson, Hunter Henry, it's our most drafted player in Bestball Mania. Yeah. That's crazy. Tight end is it's been really ugly through 4 weeks too. It's been really, really ugly. Oh, it's not PFF. I was looking for Fantasy Pros. Got it. Here we go. Let's pull this up. Weeks 1 through 4. This is current scoring for tight ends. TJ Hawk, tight end 1. Laporta, tight end 2. Cole Kmet, tight end 3. Ingram, tight end 4. And he's been so steady. Ingram's been so steady. Andrews, tight end 5. Hunter Henry, 6. He's tight end 7 right now. Now, he's only 11 points behind Hawkinson. But remember, where we drafted Travis Kelce. Where I drafted my 2% Travis Kelce. He can't afford to be anything but tight end 1. And even then, like we said, he has to separate from tight end 2 for him to be worth, pick 6 overall before the season started? Battle Royales are a different animal. Man. Can't go the Hawk. Can't go the Hawk with JJ unless we're doing Cousins. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it. We're probably gonna need Pacheco for this lineup for me to like it. Let's try it. I'm okay with wide receiver tight end more than double wide receiver, which is only won twice out of like 40 weeks, and they're just so slim. It's so slim. One of them at the time would break out last year with Chase, and then this year with Keenan Allen throwing a touchdown to Mike Williams. So I'll bet against that every time. Oh shit. Froze. What happened? Are we back? Are we back? Let me turn off the Wi-Fi on the phone. See if that helps. Is it better? Let me know. Is it any better? I'm back. Let's go. I do not know what happened. Turn off phone Wi-Fi. See if it changed anything. I want Pacheco for this lineup. I want Pacheco as the bring back here. Yeah, it's still a little laggy. I don't know why. Tell the wifey, stop streaming. Stop streaming up there. What do you... Stop streaming Netflix. A-Rich? No, we can't go A-Rich. It has to be a Captain Kirk lineup. No, we got super fast internet. It's not that. It's most likely the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi adapter in the PC. Probably has to be upgraded. We need Pacheco here. And then it's basically pick your poison of wide receiver. So it's between Nico or Chris Olave. With how bad Carr's looked, and now with a potential injury, I still want to mix in a little bit of Olave, but maybe with like Olave and Hunter Henry as a bring back. Okay, so this lineup's going to have Kirk, unless we get sniped on Kirk. That'd be crazy. We get sniped on Kirk, then we'd have to go like Daniel Jones, which is nuts. No, we can go Stroud. I forgot we have Nico. Jay says, 1K subs, time to upgrade the internet. Exactly what I was going to say. You guys are sick. You guys are sick. You're sleeping on Garrett Wilson this week. Zach Wilson redemption game. I'm fine with Garrett Wilson as a one-off, but I don't love it. Like, what do you have as Garrett Wilson's ceiling under Zach Wilson? That's sort of... Yes, he pulled a ton of targets, 14, 9 catches for 60 yards. If he gets a touchdown last week, you can add a catch. I'll add a catch for 10 yards. 10 catches, 5 points, 10 yards, 70, and you give him a touchdown. That's 23 points. Like, it's barely optimal. It's barely optimal. So his ceiling game under Zach Wilson, I don't think is high enough to win. I know. He's playing the Broncos. Play everyone against the Broncos. New rule. I'd rather play Breece Hall. But that's just me. All right, we get Kirk here. A little double stack. Pacheco bring back. Couple one-offs. Nico Collins and Achan. Yeah, you can mix in Garrett Wilson. It's fine. It's not like it's not going to be a cardinal sin. Nothing's going to be a cardinal sin against the Denver defense. So, sure, can you get in the end zone twice? Yeah, but what are the chances that Zach Wilson throws 2 touchdown passes like against anyone? That's sort of that's my worry. I guess pretty high. He had 2. Did he have one to Conklin? Did Conklin get? No, it was Alan Lazard. He went to Alan Lazard. This room's sharp enough. I think the theater came in 6th. Shout out to Crash Rich, came in 1st this previous week. This will be a fun one. This will be a fun one. Josh says Conklin dropped one in the end zone. Or out of bounds. Yeah. The hate has reached a critical mass. Dog Bowl. We're going to be doing Dog Bowls on Saturday nights. It's going to be the new timing for Dog Bowls. I wonder if I think they're going to be doing if you draft 4 of them, you get 1 free. So ends up being 25% off. The problem with that is they're $50 each. So 4 for $150. If you do 3, you may as well do 4 though. I saw that notification in the Discord for Underdog, and that was for, I believe it was only for the cardio club. Correct me if I'm wrong. Adam says Holwell was about to give up on Fields and he played the Broncos. It's so true. It's so true. He looked good as a passer. Didn't he have like a perfect passer rating through like halftime? And then the fumble 6. And he bared himself. He went Chicago Bears. Slumdog, welcome to the live stream. Daily check-in. Need to comment more though. Appreciate you, dude. Appreciate you coming out. If you guys haven't already, go down, smash the like on the live stream. Oh, Kelsey at 6 would be interesting, but there's no way Crash Rich is giving up Kelsey at 5. There's no chance. I hate this so much. 6 spot, but lows, by the way. 6 spot, but lows. I'll pull up the 500 in a minute. That one had Liam in it. It had Dave, Sam Sherman, and Peter Jennings. I hate this spot. I've just give me some random combo here. Just give me some random combo that's going to be less owned. I'll reach a little bit and we'll just make it ugly, I guess. I do not like the 6 spot when those are my options. Let me pull up that team. Here we go. Drafts completed or active. Live. It's under live. Here it is. We're currently in second place in the $500 Bulldog. But our team's legit though. Besides Kenny Pickett. Like, just ignore the Kenny Pickett. Jalen Hurts, Pickett, Derrick Henry, A.J. Dillon, Achane, Damian Harris, Tyler Algier, Chase Brown, Tyreek Hill, Drake London, Deontay Johnson. So this is with DJ out too. George Pickens, Jahan Dotson, Isaiah Hodgins, McCole Hardman, Evan Ingram, Cole Kmet, and Hunter Henry. So really being carried by just crushing on the tight end spot, which should continue to help us with this team. But this team definitely needs Deontay Johnson back stat. Not a bad roster, though. Double stack Pittsburgh. Like, I didn't mind kind of betting on Pittsburgh before the season started. Second year QB is what it is. Give us Swift and Laporta here. Give us Swift and Laporta here. H2O. H2O. How kind of you letting the winner last week get Kelsey Mahomes. Yeah. I don't draft to... You don't draft to make other people's lineups less strong. You draft to give yourself the best chance to win. And he passed on it. Glad to know he's back on Waddle. Makes me feel better about my 28% ownership last week. Because realistically, any week it can be Hill, any week it can be Waddle. I'm just gonna have too much Chase. Like, is that a bad thing? I guess we'll see. I feel like I've been getting a ton of Chase tonight, which I don't necessarily want, but with these receivers, I would still prefer Chase over Amon-Ra. We need another receiver, and we need a QB. This could be a Goff squad. No, it can't be. Gross. We need a scroll. Nope, we already have a tight end. Is Olave still there? Is this a $5 donation if we do this? Is this the $5 donation? Oh, man. Yeah, it feels like it. Let's do this. Let's do this instead. The Derek Carr, Chris Olave stack. Is that what you need? No, at least not when he's not healthy and not playing well. I'm probably good with that. It's going to be hard to pass up Kirk Cousins. Even if he's not the optimal QB, he should still have a really high floor, and he actually has a freaking high ceiling too. Let me pull up QBs. He's currently QB7, and he had a wash of a game last week, like an absolute wash. So, puts up 11 points. So he's actually showed he's had a pretty nice ceiling. Let's pull up QBs real quick. Which is surprising. Like, he finishes as QB5, QB2, QB4. So he's already had 3 games where he's QB5 or higher. Like, who else can say they have that? Like, Josh Allen has 1. Herbert has 2. Lamar has 2. Jalen Hurts, 1. Tua has 2. Jordan Love. And QBs, it is a little mixed. Daniel Jones has 1. Mac Jones, this might be the biggest surprise. Never again. Maybe never again. Let's see what Crash Rich ended up doing. Kelsey, Waddle, Puka, A. Rich, James Conner, Karen Williams, sort of all over the map. The theater going Bijan, Patrick Mahomes, TJ Hawk, Nico Collins, Brees Hall, and Zay Flowers. I do like the Brees Hall click. I'll be bringing more of that into my portfolio this week. But guys, if you enjoyed tonight's live stream, go down, smash the like on the way out. I appreciate everyone coming out, watching, subscribing. Much love. Have a good night. Pounders.